2011, my son was born. He had a bad delivery. Throughout the whole time of the pregnancy, he had all of his measurements were in the 100th percentile. He had everything. He was a big baby. Everybody said it was going to be a C-section. There was no way he could be delivered naturally. And, we were kind of prepared for that. But the doctor, she had other plans. She decided that she felt like this huge baby could be delivered naturally. My wife was in labor for like over 22 hours. She pushed for 18 or something like that. I forget. It's like an entire day. They used the vacuum extractor. The first one was broken in the bag, so that one was discarded. The second one, the doctor applied it and it broke loose. So she got another one. She applied the vacuum extractor. There's my wife and my son right there. But it broke inside of my wife. And when it tore out of her, tore flesh. Blood splattered everywhere. Splattered me, the doctor. I think it was a student doctor, an intern, or whatever you call it. She was there, I splattered her. It was even on the ceiling. And then there was just a stream of blood pouring from my wife. trickling, whatever. An unbroken stream. And the doctor put a bucket under her and applied another vacuum extractor. Finally, there was shift change. And another doctor came in, and there was probably about 14 people in there, shift change. People were just standing around in awe, looked confused. Finally, the doctor that came in said, "That's enough. Get her to emergency." And we finally got the emergency C-section. Well, my son, they cleaned him up and all. They delivered him to the room, and in a matter of time, he was just pouring sweat. I went to the nurse's station and I told them, and they said, "Well, that's possible. Infants' sweat glands aren't fully developed. And I said, you need to come look." And when they came in there, his hair was soaking wet, his body was soaking wet, and he had a high fever. So they put him in intensive care for, I guess that's what you call it, intensive care, for 48 hours. Had him hooked up to all kind of stuff. And all this time he had those caps on, those caps that put on the babies. I remember the doctor saying, he got a little contusion during the delivery. Nothing to worry about. We didn't think anything of it, and we'd never been around babies too much, especially newborn. And by the time we took him home and noticed his head was odd, we heard stories about odd-shaped heads, and 2 years later, we learned there was scar tissue on both lobes. Took the took the lawyer 2 years to settle it. But the lawyer and a panel of specialists all agreed that he had a speech delay and a brain injury due to a bad delivery. I could go down the list of people who were specialists on that panel of professionals. But it doesn't matter. We won a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Sounds good, right? Well, the doctor, she was renting the space at the hospital, so the hospital wasn't held accountable. Nobody on staff was held accountable. And she was here, working here legally, but she was from Australia. So when she got wind of her lawsuit, the insurance company that she used, they went under, and she went to Australia, and we didn't get a dime. So we've spent the past, well, we spent all 10 years of my son's life, from the nights of an infant screaming in the night, and we didn't know why. Now I think it's just pain, you know. I used to have to hold him down so he wouldn't hurt himself. And people were just saying, you know, babies, some of them just don't sleep good. In a 7-hour night, he'd be awake 14 times. I got no sleep. I got none. I stayed home with him his first 2 years, so I did have that. My wife had to work. She didn't get much sleep, but she had to work. So here we are all these years later, and when we moved here, a little over 3 years ago, June was 3 years ago, he had a vocabulary of 20 words. 7 years old. Here we are, 10 years old, and he talks your head off. Now, that's not to say he talks regular. He's got his own little language, and my wife and I, we figure out what he's saying most of the time. A lot of times he'll tell you what he's saying or thinking by quoting lines from movies like Thomas the Train or SpongeBob or something like that. It's bittersweet. He has a photographic memory. He's extremely intelligent. He just has a communication issue. we moved to this town, we did our homework and we discovered that this town had an extremely high success rate with special needs. The school system is really high on the list. We moved here for the low crime, stuff like that. The trails, the outdoors. And then as soon as I get here, I get diagnosed with cancer. And it's a lot to carry, a big burden. But I put my son first. My wife puts our son first. He's just a joy, an absolute joy. Always happy. Gets up ready to go to school. He's fun. I fear for his future. The world is a lot more friendly to children with special needs than it is to adults with special needs. And what happens if he loses me? I don't know. So I just focus on him. I go to work, try to save as much money as possible. I get home, I'm tired. I usually rest. This is not resting. But you can't sit in a chair and die. This hike is brutal. But anyway, I'm on top of this mountain, the sun's setting and the temperature has dropped and my shirt is soaking with sweat. I got a cold ride home and I'm not looking forward to it. But all for a kid and the family, it's just worth it. It's a beautiful day. It's my birthday. I'm gonna go home and have a piece of cake and hang out with the family. I'm gonna take a quick shower and I got some footage for another video and I hope you guys enjoy it. Find some inspiration in it. It's called A Tainted Ride, man, for a reason. There's beauty in the imperfections. My son is absolutely beautiful. My wife, she's beautiful. Our life together is beautiful. And we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.